Hi. It's been a minute. Let me tell you about my New Year's. It's a few days after Christmas. I've decided I'm gonna go visit my dad in Arizona, okay? I knew that my entire family in Reno had basically gotten influenza, right? Mom got it, my brothers got it, my grandma got it. My dad did not get it. Dad does not have influenza. All right. So I drive a few hours to see Dad and his girlfriend in Arizona. Things are great night 1. Day 2, I start to notice there's a little bit of tightness in my chest. Day 3, I'm like, yeah, it seems like it's a real cold coming on. I'm supposed to drive back on the 30th of December, but I was unable to sleep that entire night because I was just so sick. And I'm thinking, all right, if it's just a basic cold, like I can make it through with just a basic cold. But then my stomach starts to hurt. Stomach starts to hurt. I upchuck in the morning and I'm like, oh, that was a weird one off because I just took medication weird. And basically was fine for the rest of the day, just had a cold. Later that night, it's me and my dad sitting there, and I'm still thinking I'll drive back on New Year's Eve because it's just a cold I took today to rest. I'll be fine tomorrow. And I start to feel it again, a little burbling in my tummy. And I'm like, oh no, Dad, I hope this doesn't turn into me compulsively throwing up for the next foreseeable future. I should learn a lesson or two about jinxing things. So I throw up that night, and then I'm getting into bed. I'm on the phone with my boyfriend. I'm like, oh my God, I feel so sick. My dad comes in, he gives me a sleep aid. He's like, look, you really just need to sleep. You didn't sleep last night. Like, you rest up tonight, okay? And I'll feel better tomorrow morning. Before I can go to take the sleep aid, I'm like, okay, I have to go to the bathroom again. So I leave the sleep aid on my bed. My cat's never had an issue with like biting things she's not really supposed to bite. She knows what's food and what's not food for the most part. Yeah, so imagine my surprise when I come back from the bathroom. Literally just puked my own brains out. And then I see puddles of foam and spit all over the floor. And I look at my cat and she has foam coming out of her mouth. I am panicking. I'm like, I need an emergency vet right now, but I'm like, fuck, I need an emergency vet for me too, not just my cat. There's I'm panicking. I'm Googling like what could be wrong with my cat. I'm thinking like she ate something, like what did she eat? Am I gonna have to force her to give the Heimlich? She seems to be acting fine, and so I'm watching her, and then I look at my bed and the sleep aid isn't there. The sleep aid that I stupidly left on my bed isn't there anymore. And so then I'm panicking extra because I'm like, oh my God, my cat just took a sleep aid. She's going to die. She's going to die. So I run into my dad's room. I find the bottle and I'm like Googling, can 50 milligrams of this kill my cat? And it's like, no, it can't. It'll just make it drowsy. I'm like, great, that's not good enough for me. My dad runs into the room and I end up finding the sleep aid. What was good about it was she only punctured it with her tooth. And I guess that was just enough of a chemical reaction to create that much saliva. I don't know. Kitty was fine, gave Mom a heart attack. And so eventually, I'm like, okay, I am going to try to sleep. So I took a different sleep aid. I took NyQuil. I'm like, I'm going to rest. I'm going to wake up and drive home tomorrow. I wake up at 1:30 in the morning and I'm like, oh my God, my stomach is killing me. And what really gets me is my dad said before I went to bed, like, do you want to go to the emergency room? Do you want to go to urgent care? Because I was feeling so bad. I was like, no, there's no way they're going to know what to do. Like, they're just going to tell me to tough it, right? Whatever. So when I wake up at 1:30 in the morning and I start compulsively puking my brains out, sorry, my cat grabbed something else she wasn't supposed to have. I just basically thought they would tell me to tough it. So I text my dad at like 4:30 in the morning. I'm like, hey, when you wake up, like, I really do think we should go to urgent care because I was so bad. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't leave the bathroom. Like, it was horrible. He wakes up and we end up just going to the emergency room at 5 in the morning, which was great because I literally couldn't stop throwing up even in the emergency room. They're taking my blood pressure. They're trying to wheel me out. I had a trash can with me. It was horrific. And they're trying to ask me questions and I'm literally at this point just pointing to my dad while I'm gagging, like, defer to him. I can't answer. So they come in, they give me some Zofran and they're like, yeah, if you're not feeling better in like 15 minutes, we'll come give you more. 20 minutes pass, I call them like, hey, I need more medicine. They don't come. 20 more minutes pass, I call again. They're like, okay, we'll send in the nearby nurse. Eventually the nurse comes in and they give me some other diluted concoction of nausea meds that eventually gets me to simmer down. Hooked me up to an IV because I was so dehydrated. All I wanted was water. I wanted to like chug a glass of water so bad, but I couldn't keep anything down. 5 hours later, they released me from the emergency room. After I left the emergency room, though, I basically just laid down and tried to sleep and could not sleep because I could tell I just had one more left in me. And like after I stood up and I had my final big one, I was like, okay, I feel like a normal person again. I'm really glad that I didn't drive home on the 30th like I originally thought I was going to, because on the 31st, he was able to take me to the emergency room on the literal last day of my insurance being active. We like to call that life's divine timing. was literally texting my mom being like, were you guys all throwing up from influenza? She's like, no, it could be norovirus. But they tested me in the hospital and they said that it was indeed influenza. So sorry, I haven't been posting much. I've been recovering. I have a very liquid cough right now. It is so unpleasant to listen. And that was basically how I spent my New Year's Eve. Okay, so thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Okay, I love you guys so much. Okay, goodbye.